Hey everyone, it's Michael and
Matt.
And Alex.
and Ruben. That was really well coordinated.
I thought we were going to go this way, but
We should
we went that way, yeah.
From Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au. And here we are.
Yeah, welcome.
What are you trying to do, man?
I'm trying to get it in a good... There we go, perfect. Should have done a little practice run.
There you think?
Oh, we got there in the end. What's cooking? What have you got for us, Michael?
Well,
We made it to Friday.
we made it to Friday.
You're limping into Friday again?
It seems to be the common theme with us, doesn't it? Yeah, we made it to Friday. Far out. Yeah, no, we made it. It's been a pretty good week. It's been pretty chaotic.
Yeah.
Pretty good for her. Because in the shop, it's been so hectic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah, just
thing.
in and out of the shop. Yeah, bouncing between packing them and here. So that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You spent last week anyway.
Yep,
Was it this
a week and a half.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
packing them.
Yep.
What were you doing there, mate?
Surviving. It was good. Just got to see what's coming of the shop there,
Yep.
and the logistics side of things. So packing and shipping. Yeah. it's been
And
good.
isn't logistics chaos at the moment?
Yes, it is.
I think I spent I cleared 100 emails last night, and I think most of it was really sorry, it will be out in the next 24 hours.
Oh, apparently we've got no audio for Matt and Michael. What gives, Ruben?
Come on, man.
This is classic live stuff. Can anyone even... Maybe no one can hear this. We could be saying anything.
All right, I can't say anything.
Audio echoing now. Oh, lads. It's what happens when you add a fourth member to the gang at the 11th hour at 2:29. We're just talking amongst ourselves. I don't think anyone can hear me.
Yeah.
Oh, they can.
What we're saying is usually not worth hearing anyway. So.
All right, so I think we're on. Ruben's giving us a thumbs up.
We are there.
Some things are back. I'm not sure about the echo, but at least your mics are working again now. They just decided to randomly crash out. Yeah, it's decided that there's too many people on the stream at once.
Yeah, Cuz apparently he's got Ruben, you're not allowed to forget him.
There's a random request for something to do with invoices, which I'm not going to get a second to look at. That is best going to be through to Andrew on the phones or emails. I can try and remember, but without knowing an exact name or anything.
It's hard to get good help, I'm telling you.
They're even harder to get them to turn up to the right place as well.
That's right.
Yeah,
I
unreal.
love, yeah, Mr. Anderson, it sounds like you're giving a speech at a socialist event.
Me? Or you?
You, I think, with the echoing.
Oh dear, what a worry. I've actually caught up on some invoicing while we've been doing
Oh,
this.
good. Straightening things out.
I'm on the ball.
Oh, so is there I missed the meeting this morning because I was taken out in the shop.
Oh, of course there's
It was-
a plan, mate.
That was a good meeting.
Plan C, I hear.
Yeah, hold on to your hat. This is going to be a good stream. There's a lot of excitement in the world at the moment. I don't know. It feels like the first time in a long time getting pumped up in the lead up to Christmas. Is that just me, or am I crazy, lads? Is there a bit? I don't know. There's a bit of excitement this year. Maybe it's also skewed by the fact that I've got a little one at home. That's
And
all.
your little one, because she'd be old enough now to kind of understand what's going on,
Yeah,
wouldn't she?
she sees Santa and she gets all fired up. So I think I've probably answered my own question there. That probably is a big part of it. And you would relate to that now as well, like with the, with the grandson. It's all...
Well, I'm getting second time round now.
Yeah.
So I've done it with all my kids. And it was
Yeah.
kind of, because my youngest is now 14. So it's kind of like, I mean, we still have a great time over Christmas and it's like, we're very into it. But it was starting to lose that, that really young child magic.
Yeah.
And now we've got Henry coming along and
Yeah,
it's
that's
all fired
so
up
good.
again.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, nice. Well, here's something that maybe needs to be, and we've said this in the past, needs to be integrated into the Australian culture, is some form of precious metal exchange in the Christmas season. There are still people out there that do the Christmas pudding tradition of the old sterling silver coins, but I wonder if...
We have the $2 coins in that place, yep.
You stick them in the pudding.
Really? $2 coins.
Inside the pudding.
Oh,
Fresh out of the new roll.
yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. But this is something that, and I said, I'm getting deja vu. I think I said this last year. BN needs to, as in Bullion Now, for those that are unfamiliar with the acronym, needs to come out with some sort of Christmas-themed product or item that you can,
We did Christmas bars this
They
year.
were cool. Yeah, they were so cool. Ruben and I were just chatting about that. I was very impressed with the way that captured the light. It almost seemed to emit a glow when you got that in dark. That was very cool.
Because you could hang it on a tree.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah.
Nothing came compared to the bar though. I was very impressed with that.
Yeah, I think both.
Yeah.
I think it touched on both. You got one for the tree, and you got a really cool atmosphere, a European atmosphere. I'd love to do one with an Australian atmosphere.
There we go.
I married a Pom, so I quite enjoy the European atmosphere, and my parents were both Poms, and so I've always seen. Or my Christmases have always been very European-ish, for want of a better term. So I kind of like that anyway. But it'd be good to see an Australian-themed bar like that as well. So we'll have to see what we can come up with next year.
Down the beach.
Yeah.
Angels, footprints on the sand.
Yeah.
That's the one.
The small lapel mics aren't working on Alex, so Michael, if you're able to pull yours a little bit and share a little bit with Alex, I'll just turn that one up and hopefully we can hear both of you.
That's right.
Look out.
Hopefully that fixes some of the echo. It was kind of a case of I could have echo and Alex's mic working, or no Alex mic working and no echo. So
Standard tech stuff.
that's it.
And I don't know. Is it that much to buy another mic, mate?
It's always wildly apparent once you're in the thick of it.
Hindsight's 2020, as they say.
Oh dear. So Matt, what's been happening with you?
Oh, all sorts. It's been a very interesting week. Here's something that I've noticed, right? And I don't know if it's just more prevalent as of late with the fluctuations in spot price, but I'm noticing a bit of an increase in people. I don't know how to phrase this delicately. People relying too heavily or putting too much stock in other people's opinions in a public setting. People saying, and this is specifically on Facebook, right? People have bought something and they're saying, oh, I bought this. Do people think this was a good thing to have bought? And there's so much emphasis on what other people are thinking. And something that we've often advocated for is to, this is your own journey, whether it's collecting, stacking, investing, whatever you're doing. It needs to be, it's great to share it with people and be part of a community, but I'm noticing it seems to be a lot of people are sort of getting the wrong idea, in my opinion, and putting too much emphasis on what other people are thinking, and without understanding, and this is what we always say, without knowing people's specific and unique financial circumstances and things like that, you can't really get right into the weeds and give advice and things like that. So it's a little,
It's not unusual for people to seek group reassurance, though.
Yeah.
When they buy a new car, they show everyone kind of in the hope that, tell me it's a nice car, tell me you like it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because you spend so much on it. So
I guess that's the thing, right? Yeah, in that same vein. So it gives that sort of energy to me, and that sort of concerns me a little bit, that some people may be it's sort of like that expression of keeping up with the Joneses. So you shouldn't be, in my opinion, you shouldn't be doing things, you shouldn't be investing or making large acquisitions based on the hope that, other people around you will say, yeah, that's a really great thing, because, when things hit the fan, that sort of sentiment may not get you very far.
That's right.
That's also, well, you wouldn't. Is that bullion specific? Because why would you be advertising? Not specific, but what you've been seeing. Because you wouldn't want to be advertising to everyone of what you have in terms of your stack anyway. So
that's another factor for sure. Yeah. Just to be mindful. Yeah, I think that probably also plays into it as well. When it's a larger purchase, maybe just give it a little bit of thought before broadcasting it to.
What do you think about this half-kilo gold bar I just bought?
Yeah. And here's a photo with a whole bunch of identifying background features.
With a photo in front of the house with my driver's license next to it.
Location still part of the data on the photo. So
there
used to be. I've mentioned this once before. There used to be a Facebook thread. I don't know if it's still around, but it was highlighting people who'd taken photos front and back of their new credit cards.
Really?
what?
Yeah. So So you had all the numbers on the front and the signature on the back.
Yeah.
I don't know if that thread's still around, but it used to make me laugh. I used to go and check it out every so often.
I don't believe it. Can you send me the link? Just, verify.
Yeah. No, people like that. I mean, you see it even in the shop where they come in and go, is this a good idea? Should I be doing this? Do you think this? Or I've just bought this.
Yep.
You know, like, can you tell me this is a good buy sort of thing? And I guess in some ways I get the need for the reassurance, but you've got to steer away from it. You've got to, like, this is your decision at the end of the day. And when it goes pear-shaped, no one else is going to go, oh yeah, I told you it was a good idea, so I'll pick up the mess sort of thing.
Yep.
But if the last 12 months to 2 years has taught us anything, it's that time covers all mistakes.
Yeah.
So even if you've bought something and you've paid too much for it, just wait.
Yeah.
And the price will catch up to you. So even if you'd bought, I remember looking at some proof 1 ounce gold coins a little while ago, and they were about $3,200. You know, gold was at about $2,000. I'm thinking, man, I shouldn't have, like, I bought it on a whim. Man, I shouldn't have done this. You know, I don't even really like the coin. Oh, I'm never going to get my money back on this. What a turkey. You know, now I can settle, you know, like I could melt it and get get my money back plus some. So, you know, even if you're unsure, you've bought something, you've overpaid for it, you've got that buyer's remorse type of thing, a little bit of time will cover, if you have made a mistake, and, you know, I don't believe you probably have in today's day and age. Yeah. But even if you have made a mistake, time will cover that mistake as a rule.
Yeah.
It can get confusing if you ask too many people, and I see that in the shop a lot. Yeah. It's like, oh, I want to swap this out and buy some gold, or swap gold to buy some silver. What do you think? And you ask a different staff member, and each one will say, okay, this is not financial advice, and we let them know, but everyone's different. So I might go silver to gold, whereas you might go gold to silver, you know, and anything
and I'm going to go to platinum.
Silver to platinum.
Exactly. So I find that can be even more confusing for some customers. So it just goes back to knowing what you're buying, why you're buying it, and have that self-assurance. But it's easier said than done. But that's where a lot of the educational videos, I think, will help out.
Yeah, look, it is. And I mean, quite often, if you've bought even I'm not trying to minimise an ounce of gold, but even an ounce of gold, you know, it's still $4,000 plus. Yeah. You know, it's a serious buy. It's all right for us that handles it every day and kind of go, you know, not that we'd ever go ho-hum, but, you know, like it's...
Yeah, you get a little desensitised to the magnitude of it,
But, you know, if I said to you, you know, drop $4,000 on this, you'd go... Yeah. How am I going to explain that to the missus? Sort of thing. So, you know.
I actually had that yesterday.
Oh, really?
The guy buying a gold tail. So 37.5 grams. And he's like, I'm spending this much, like just under 5K. And, you know, I dropped it in his hand. He's like, is that it?
Yeah, that's right.
He liked it, but he wasn't sure she'd like it. So.
I love that expression when people come in for the first time. And they go, oh, you know, I want to buy an ounce of gold, and you can see in their brain, you know, the dollar signs are there, and the lights are going on in their eyes, and you know, you do the transaction, and then you bring out the ounce of gold, and you put it down, and it's this big by you know, that deep, and you can see in their eyes. That's not what it looks like on Hollywood.
Yeah. What do you mean? There's no bag with a dollar sign on it?
There's about, 399 ounces missing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like, where's the brick? Like, I've just given you $4,000. Where's the brick?
This would be a great segue to bricks if I had some news on that topic. But I've got a question from Facebook. They say this is kind of in relation to we're talking about the Australian culture and things like that. They say, any thoughts on starting a junior BN stackers club for kids? Yes. One where they get a random low-cost coin every month, or I guess some other kind of solution, you know? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we are looking at introducing that in the new year, along with what's actually held it up is getting someone to manufacture a junior stacker round for us is what we're trying to do. Even a bar I'd be happy with, but we're trying to get something that's about that half ounce in size. So, you know, that kind of $25-ish mark. And we'll do it as cheap as we possibly can. So it's good for juniors to stack or grandparents to buy for their significant juniors type of thing. And that's what we're hunting around for. So hopefully next year we will actually see that in action.
Is this going to be like a kids meal or something where there's an age cutoff then, or if you're opening it up to the grandparents to buy
you're gonna have to
I was just going to say there's going to be a lot of big kids buying up everything before the little kids get to it. So
yeah. We're going to try. I don't know how we'll actually administer the there'll be some teething issues, I dare say, but that sort of thing I think would be great.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be a big hit. That's one of my common complaints whenever I chat with my parents. Why were you buying me toys and stuff throughout the ages? Back when I was born, silver was like $3.20 an ounce. It could have been, I could be rich by now.
Why were you buying me all those toys I was demanding?
But I was begging for you, throwing tantrums because I didn't get my Pokemon cards. But even then, the Pokemon cards I got are probably worth heaps now. But I would have folded them up and put them away somewhere.
Have you still got them?
No, I've got a few, but a lot of them, I was wheeling and dealing in the schoolyard, probably getting covered in dirt.
I still got my Matchbox cars from when I was a kid.
Really?
They're worth it.
Were they the old Lesney's ones?
Yeah, I've got some of
Really?
those. Yeah, I got some real... Because I got a brother who's 8 years older than me.
Yeah.
No, sorry, he's 10 years older than me. You think I'd know that, wouldn't you? So I inherited all of his sort of stuff into the collection, and Lego as well.
Nice.
So I got some vintage Lego and vintage Matchbox cars, which my younger brother played with as well.
Saw a comparison on the Matchbox cars recently online between some of the original ones versus even just in the undercarriage, just like the quality had just dropped right off again.
Yeah. My father-in-law, bless his cotton socks, he's passed away now, but he collected Matchbox cars through his whole life.
Really?
Right from very young age in England, and he even had the original boxes they still came in.
Yeah.
And we kind of like... when I kind of met my wife and used to go around there, he had them all displayed in cabinets, and I kind of used to go, he's never grown up, what a waste of money sort of thing. And being, a minister's family, they weren't exactly rolling in the dollars, so I used to kind of, derided's too strong a word, but, I used to kind of laugh at it a little bit. And then, I don't know, Katie and I had been married probably 15, 20 years, and I was around at their place, and he had on the coffee table this, one of those coffee table Matchbox car books.
Yeah, the catalogue sort of thing.
And I'm kind of flipping through it and looking at some of these prices, like, $1,000, $2,000, these sort of things. And I'm going, well, look at this. And he goes, oh, yeah, I've got two of those. Oh, yeah, I've got one of those. Yeah, I'm like, wow, this is going to be a...
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
How do we get on that topic?
Is still intact and around to this day.
Yeah.
I find that to be very cool. I was fortunate. We're going to get back on. I can see Ruben's ready to wind it up. But
we dropped the sound apparently. So
Yeah, just for a second. We should
we're
be
just
back.
chatting for real.
Are we back again?
Yeah, no, we're back.
Oh, okay, cool. When I was managing a coin shop in Sydney, we had a whole collection, and it had the original, very first ever Matchbox, the roller, the green roller, and the whole bit. And I was devastated when we sold that. I told the boss, that's a display item. Don't even sell it.
Do you remember how much it went for?
Roughly, it was a bargain. It was maybe $600 or $700.
Yeah,
and I still
probably worth 10 times that
in
at
the
least.
box and everything. Yeah, and this is going back a number of years. And I think the second or third one was a fire truck.
Yeah.
There was some. Yeah, it was a whole run of originals and that kind of thing. Yeah. Can you tell I like collecting?
My father had the Superman comic #1.
Really?
Yes.
Was that different in Australia, or was that a universal release?
I assumed it was
different.
Yeah, was there
There were Australian release comics, and then there were like the. I know with Marvel that had a distributor, like an Aussie distributor for Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about DC.
Oh, we might have to get a guy in, another guy in on the stream, comic expert. But this is a Bullion channel, Ruben. You look like you had a question, or you're gonna rein us in, because this could go. This could really, we could lose it here if we keep going.
Got one from Mr. Anderson there. It says, "Hi BN, do you guys have bullion stored overseas? If so, would you recommend a place? Sorry if there's a conflict of interest against BN."
No, it's not a conflict because we're not overseas.
Yes.
It depends. If you're talking about 1 or 2 ounces, it's not worth the cost of doing it. But if you've got a decent amount, there's some good places in Singapore. They can actually store them on the other side of customs, so they never technically enter the country. They're kind of in no man's land. So there's a couple of good ones there out of Singapore. There's one out of Hong Kong that does a similar thing. And then I've got some in the UK and the US do similar things. So, I've got dual nationality, so it's easy for me to slip over there, sort of thing, and it's a backup for if I'm over there. So
Cool.
That's great.
But to answer the question, you don't have any, a preferred storage provider. I think it's kind of thing like we always say, do a bit of research, do a lot of research and find out, what the go is.
Yeah. If I think hard enough, I'll remember the Singaporean one that's good, but I can't remember their name off the top of my head.
I might, but I don't know, so I won't say anything.
I'm going to remind you of this afterwards. I like the sound of these. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good fun. What else we got, Rubes?
Do we pay VAT down under?
We pay GST down under, and it's different to the VAT requirements in the UK or Europe. I'm a little rusty on this. The UK pays VAT on silver and not on gold, but they do pay it on some types of gold, but they don't pay it on silver that's over 250 years or less than 250 years.
Yeah, it's such a weird and wacky one.
Yeah.
I was speaking with another coin dealer who ended up correcting the sales staff at the Royal Mint and ended up getting refunded on a bunch
really?
of. So it was.
Wow.
So I think it is a bit of a sticky one.
If it's a Britannia, they don't pay VAT on it because it's the King's money or something like that. There's this weird term in there that they slide that in under. Sovereigns are the same, I think it is, and there's something else as well.
Yeah.
So it's an absolute minefield. We talked to Backyard Bullion
that's right,
about it. And I was just spinning out. Where he's going, it's this, but if it's that, it's not. And then if it's this, then it's.
But if it's a Tuesday,
that's right. It was like, how do you even keep up with that? So that was that was an experience, that one. So I don't know if Rubes can find the link relatively quickly, but if you listen to that interview, he goes through it there. Quite a bit of the VAT requirements there.
There was some discussion before when we were talking about the juniors as to if they were even going to be able to listen to our content on YouTube because of some proposed bans. This is more of a YouTube themed discussion than a bullion related one.
No, that actually went through Parliament last night.
Yeah.
2 or 3 this morning. That was actually passed through Parliament. So at the end of 2025.
5 seats.
They're
I believe.
looking
Yes.
at bringing some things in January, but then it won't actually come into effect.
So they won't be allowed any access to social media, but YouTube has been excluded from that.
Oh,
I
it
wasn't
has.
sure if that was going to run as like YouTube, like kids or YouTube something, or if
apparently
it was
YouTube, as well as some other online. Basically, it's the social media platforms that have been targeted.
So your
So
Facebook,
YouTube,
your
Messenger
Instagram.
Kids, WhatsApp, Kids Helpline, and Google Classroom. Some of the exemptions apparently.
Yeah. I don't even know what Google Classroom is.
Doesn't it? My view, I'm just moving this around for a bit of fun. With that kind of thing, doesn't it just a lot like prohibition, right? It's just going to shift. There's going to be a new instead of Facebook, Face Space is going to pop up and it's going to say, "Oh, this is geared towards educational, kids sharing ideas," and boom, social media is back on the agenda.
Did you say MySpace?
Well, actually, clever that, huh?
But no, I mean, knowing your enterprising preteen teenager, they will work a way around this fairly quickly.
That's interesting. It's almost like the way that laws, because something that my old man used to often complain about. He'd say laws are made by people who are fundamentally going to obey them. They need to bring in. So with a bill like this, bring in all these 14, 15, 16-year-olds and say, all right, how would you jam up all of your peers and then work from that? But yeah, I think you're right. There's going to be a real highlighting of the generation gap there.
What are they going to do if a kid breaches the policy?
Jail, life.
Yeah, like it's going to happen. I mean, I'm trying not to drop anyone in it here, but I spoke to a police officer fairly recently about, the issues they're having with teenagers on a fairly serious level, and he's going, the courts don't care about it until they turn 16, and really they don't care about it until they turn 18. So what are they going to do if somebody's illegally on Facebook? I mean, seriously, is anyone going to actually do anything about this?
I would argue the reason they didn't bring any teenagers or anything like that because he was never meant for teenagers.
Yeah, it's a load of garbage.
It's just it's the sugar, it's the honey that was coated.
Yeah.
put on top of the poison pill. So
the thing people are obviously bringing up is the potential then requirements for ID or something to actually access, online services. So to prove that you are over that age. Because otherwise, how do you prove it? Because, I mean, Facebook and things have already had that below 13 or whatever, you're not supposed to have an account. All my friends had, Facebook accounts below 13. And so it will either have to be just this rule that has basically already existed for some of these companies, or they're going to have to bring something in like an ID check or something to be able to enforce this. Otherwise, I think you're completely right. It's just not going to be,
There was a case a little while ago where I think it was one of the politicians, somebody's daughter got smacked for travelling on a concession card on the Victorian public transport, and they fined her and all hell broke loose. And their argument was she couldn't prove that she was under the age of 18. And when it started to shake out, when it hit the media and that, everyone kind of went, well, this is ridiculous because your average under 18-year-old doesn't necessarily have ID to prove that they're a student or anything along these sort of lines. And I would argue we're in that exact same position right now. Like, when you're 18 and over, you've got to prove your age. You've always had to prove your age overwards. But what are we going to do? You're going to issue a government ID to my 18-month-old grandson? I mean, give me a break here.
Yeah,
where do we draw the line?
Unless they've got student cards or, you're doing a family trip overseas and so you've got to arrange a child passport or something for them. Most kids don't have any kind of government-issued thing.
My kid's school doesn't issue student IDs. I think they do when they hit year 11, I think it is. But, the younger years...
When I got one,
don't... So what are we going to do here?
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad YouTube's not affected. That's cool. We can still, proceed with the junior stackers. Cool.
We're way off topic. Let's come back to bullion, which is what we're here for.
Well, there was a question there about platinum, and someone was already like, better get disappearing before Michael gets ranting about
here we go. All right, Alex, we can take 5.
But the question was from Phil. They say, for someone starting into silver and platinum, how much of your portfolio would you allocate into platinum if you had to buy now, considering the pro-macro economy condition for platinum?
Actually, my official answer on this one would be don't allocate any more than about 5%.
This is not financial advice.
This is absolutely not financial advice. Having said that, platinum's actually quite a good price at the moment, so I personally am loading up a bit more than that. But platinum is one of those things that's a bit not exclusive. What's the word? Not clicky.
Niche.
Niche. That's the word I was looking for.
I like clicky better.
Senility setting in early, I'm telling you.
The platinum club.
So platinum's a bit more nichey, so go easy. Don't allocate too much to it. Very easy to sell gold and silver. Most dealers deal in platinum, but it's pretty hard to sell over the back fence to the neighbour, whereas gold and silver's fairly easy. So that would be my take on it. I don't know, fellas, what do you reckon?
Especially like 1 ounce size. Then you look at fractional, but there's a high premium on the fractional platinum. So that's the conundrum. But personally, I love it. I do pretty much echo your sentiments, and I love platinum, and it's a great price, especially if you look historically at what it was with gold and what you hope maybe or expect it to be, say, in the next 5-10 years, and going back to those levels, especially if palladium and platinum do that seesaw swing again. So,
How likely is that? As in, what are the odds that an alternative comes to light for... We're talking predominantly about the industrial application for catalytic converters and all this jazz. Is it inevitable, or is this just wild speculation?
No,
I
would say it's inevitable. The only 3 metals you can really interchange between those are platinum, palladium, and rhodium. There's really no others that you can slide in there unless they discover on some meteor a new metal that we never really knew about before along the same sort of thread. I don't think so. I can't ever imagine it. So I think you're fairly safe with it from that perspective. I know I just said, 5%, and I'd suggest that's pretty much, standard across the board. Don't go heavy into platinum because it is nichey. Having said that, my allocation is far higher than that because I'm more heavily involved I guess I'm professionally in the bullion industry, so I'm happier to take a higher risk for it. So,
see, the way I interpret that, and this is just my interpretation, it's like watching the central banks, not what they say, but what they do. So I'm not going to follow what you say, but what you do in that sense as well. Because you've got a lot more intel on that than I do. So.
Yeah, look, I'm comfortable with a fairly heavy platinum. Personally, I'm comfortable being fairly heavy platinum. But, someone who just comes in off the street, says, this is my first time, or, I've only been investing for a little while, I probably wouldn't encourage anything anywhere near that. And quite often when I'm in the shop and I'm serving people and the subject of platinum comes up, I'll try and talk people out of it and say, look, go away, have a think about it, do some research, don't commit to it now. Because it is that more niche side of it. And I don't want people launching in and then regretting it later on.
That's what you said to me about rhodium when we first met.
It
didn't work.
I try, and I still to this day, I try and talk people out of rhodium. We do still sell it, but Alex was in one day, and this is before he worked for us.
This is my first ever entry, my steps into Bullion Now. That was the first time I actually walked into Bullion Now.
I reckon we talked for probably half an hour.
Yeah.
And I spent 29 minutes of that trying to talk him out of buying I think it was a half ounce. Quarter ounce rhodium.
Yeah.
And then 1 minute doing the transaction at the end.
Yeah, after 29 minutes of listening to you, I'm like, sold.
Yeah, that's right. Don't buy it. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll take one.
Yeah, well, English is my fourth language, so it's a bit of a communication breakdown. You're lost in translation.
It's like talking to my kids. Yeah, good fun.
Modified Stacker is wondering if you can pull a turkey out of your hat and get some more of the Xmas bars and rounds.
Not this year. By the time we got them out of the States and over here, the chances are it would be Boxing Day. So
just in time for Orthodox Christmas on the 7th of January.
Yeah,
so.
look out.
Does Orthodox Christmas get into the Christmas tree and the... okay, all right. So I'll shut up then.
Yep.
Maybe I should have done it.
Metal Inquisitor, does Little Coin Shop have the Alicanto and the 1 ounce turquoise snake proof in stock?
The first one, yes. The second one, I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
GR, may have missed this, but has the coin testing gear that you're playing with been totally rejected and not going to be offered for sale?
Ask me in the new year. Matt's grinning over there because he knows the headache it's caused.
I think in that form, it's a no-go from us at this stage.
Well, when we tried to do it live on stream, I think the whole stream shut down. So... I don't know. Well, we tried to test it.
I think I want to go back and have another crack at it. I think from a hobbyist perspective, I think it's okay. I think from a professional perspective, it's a no-go.
Yeah, you roasted me when I was trying to say it was. Look, it has its applications, and you're right. I think in a hobby capacity, it's an interesting tool. Perhaps there was a degree of user error because. Nah, Ruben's shaking his head. I was all over it.
My thing is it's supposed to be a device that brings you confidence in what you've got. And to me, for even just what we were testing that we know is legitimate, it was bringing up more questions than it was answers.
That's true. We weren't exactly throwing wild curveballs either. We're talking sovereigns and stuff like that.
It was okay with the sovereigns, wasn't it? Wasn't it a Kruger? It was a Kruger.
Yeah.
No, or was it a Ducat?
Yeah, we had a Ducat. Yeah.
I think it was just bars.
Yeah.
It was actually quite good at some of those random coins. That was actually, I think, part of what it was designed for was some of those European coins and things like that. And I think it did quite well. It was actually, I think, just one of a locally produced kind of 1 ounce bar that it was actually running into some issues with.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll have another crack at it in the new year.
Well, speaking of testing stuff, what's the deal with XRFs? Is there not because they come from overseas, right? That's not is there an Australian manufacturer of them?
No. They actually come from Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe there's an opportunity in the market. Start making BNXRFs.
You want me to get my little soldering kit out and start whipping up an XRF?
XRF Junior.
Yeah, exactly. If anyone could do it.
Look, if someone could... Senior Ding Dong is right. You need a license for an XRF, so although he's put XTF, I'm assuming we're talking about the same thing. Yeah. It's a typo. The licensing might cause this to be a bit of a problem, but if someone could come out with an XRF that was kind of like around that $5,000 mark, I think they would kill the market. Like it would just go off like a frog in a sock.
Yeah.
Because it's of that price where people can. I mean, the hobbyist probably isn't going to buy it at $5,000. If you could get one for $1,000, that'd be even better. But that $5,000, someone who's like a serious hobbyist will pick it up. Whereas when you talk $30,000, I mean, it's. And the super cheap one that they brought out, I don't know, probably 18 months ago, I think was 28,000. It's
bargain.
Like, well, come on, guys, this isn't the go. But Metal Inquisitor's spot on. The Sigma, I love the Sigma. It's very, very rare I've ever seen a Sigma fail.
Yeah. I find them to be really intuitive as well.
Yeah.
The only slight drawback, and for the one that I use, it's one of the Pro Investor or something like that. You need to have a base understanding of what you're doing. So you need to input the data to get the output that you're after. So you need to have, if you're looking at a sovereign, you need to understand, all right, it's got a gross weight of 7.98 grams. I'm looking for a purity of 22 carat, and then it will test accordingly. It's not as
it's not point
straightforward,
shoot.
where an XRF is literally point shoot and it will tell you what's going on. You don't need to.
Ironically, it's the hobbyist machine that actually requires more knowledge of the specific
coin.
You've
got to be an expert to use that one.
Whereas the expensive, professional machine is point and shoot. Yeah, yes, there's dangers and things. That there is an expert way to handle the machine. Let me not undersell it, but at the same time, it is very good at just what is this? Yeah.
Yep.
What I'd really like to do, and we should do in the new year, is use the XRF and maybe a Sigma and one of those ping testing apps on your phone, and let's see what we can do with that.
All for it.
Has anyone used that app?
Yes.
Yeah. We had a play with it. It was very impressive. So that might be. Well, it might end up being the new benchmark. You come into BN, it'd be a symphony of pings. no more XRF.
So I think it'd be good. There's a lot of people we've got the chat strolling down on the right-hand side there. Right-hand side? Over there behind the camera. So all the people are saying g'day, and there was someone that said, from the States, and someone from here and someone from there. We are seeing it. We're not able to physically comment on everyone that goes through, but it's really good to see people joining in and chatting and making comments. So we do see them, and actually I watch the video afterwards over the weekend usually and go through a lot of the comments as well. So your comments are absolutely being read by all of us here, by some of us here at least.
Yeah, I can see at least half of them.
I
got a camera in my way.
And on that note, Prairie Dog channel, new subscriber and a new collector. Love the channel.
Oh, nice.
Thank you and welcome.
David Williams, people on Facebook, the centre of all knowledge, say the XRF isn't accurate as it only gives a surface reading. And this is to a degree true, which is why I argue consistently that an XRF on its own is not bulletproof, but an XRF with an experienced operator is almost infallible, as infallible as you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's one of the tools in your chest to be able to determine these things.
Yeah. Look, to be 100% honest, when we're in the shop, whether we do it consciously or subconsciously, the XRF is really only there to confirm what we already think. Because the guys in the shop are experienced enough where they can pick something up. Usually they can look at it and go, here we go.
Are you sure about this?
You can see, I had one, it's a couple of months ago now, but as they were coming through the door, they had this minted bar in their hand, and I could see from, I don't know, what's that, 5, 6, 7 metres away, I've gone, oh crap, here we go. Because I knew they were bringing it in to sell to me, and I knew from a distance that it was a fake. So it's, you're right, the XRF, the longer you hold it, the deeper it goes, but we're still only talking microns deep. If we're sus on something and we can't tell the difference, we'll do a drill test. So we'll actually drill into it and then we'll use the XRF. There's more things. It's not just a case of, the XR, I pinged it with an XRF for 3 seconds, therefore it's definitely, no, there's the operator behind it needs to be able to say, yes, I'm experienced at this. Yes, I recognise what's coming through. I know how to use the XRF correctly, and I know when it's because sometimes the XRF will give us a reading where we'll go, yeah, I don't reckon that's right. I think something's going on in there. Whereas someone that's not experienced would just go, oh, look, it says this. It must be X. So absolutely, on its own, it's not bulletproof. But with a good operator, like most things, it's the human input that you need as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a question here from Nathan Matson. Have you guys seen the new Vic gold prospecting laws for Crown land? Large areas are now illegal to prospect. Curious to hear your take. I'm too curious because I haven't heard that, and I'm just about to start.
It's a big chunk of land in the
Around
Golden
the
Triangle,
Ballarat, the Bendigos, all those
all the way
areas.
down. I think it stretches all the way down to the coast. It's a huge amount of land, and you can't even prospect on your own land. If you own a property in that area, it is actually illegal for you to prospect on it. Even gold panning, not just with a detector.
Really?
And yeah.
Wow.
Sounds like
This
a case
is insane.
for the Midnight Gardener.
This is just ridiculous. I don't know how this got through Parliament,
Yeah.
but effectively you have to be at one of the big mining companies to now prospect on that land.
Oh, interesting.
So
Someone sent me a video on it as well, and apparently even figuring out, like people new to getting involved in it, even figuring out what those areas are in some of the applications and programs that you use to find out these things is also quite difficult, and it could even be a bit of a gotcha for some people starting out in this.
You can't just go onto a government website and easily find, like type in can I prospect here type of thing. They've actually made it quite difficult to find out where the area is. So they're setting you up for failure.
That'd be interesting to see what, if anything, comes of that in terms of someone being
Smacked for it.
yeah
a eureka
'cause-
pushback.
because I'm just going for a walk. What's with the detector?
This is
I lost my ring. I'm trying to find it.
You can't
I'm
do
not
it.
prospecting for anything other than my gold wedding ring.
Exactly.
Boom. I don't know.
I don't know if you'd be allowed to with these laws.
Well, perhaps there's an educational YouTube video of BN out in the field
Hey, I might
rolling the
have
dice.
to, I might have to blur exactly where we are. Right?
Prospecting in front of the Ballarat cop shop.
The old jail cell.
Yeah, that's right. I think I can't believe that we've passed that type of legislation.
Yeah.
That is just insane.
Yeah, there you go. Troy the fairy hunter. Metal detectors become illegal.
Yeah, well,
Right.
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's not just metal detectors. You can't pan. You can't kick over rocks looking for gold.
Yeah, that's a very interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a great direction to be heading in.
The problem is, Metal Inquisitor, how are they going to catch you? The problem is, you go and find yourself a 30 ounce nugget, and you want to tell someone about it. All of a sudden, it always hits the front page of the newspaper.
That's why you need a good pickaxe. It won't be a hole.
If you find a 30 ounce nugget, just quietly slip it in your bag.
Sorry,
come into BN. We'll sort it out for you. Don't stress.
Everything I may say is not
is not
outlaw
nugget
advice,
advice.
all right? This is
Yeah,
not
wow,
outlaw
wee.
advice.
Oh, dear.
I've got a question from Karen there. I think this is more talking about like a personal stack, but they say, how do you do inventory and organize one stack? Because this,
You
I think
do
the
it
answer.
so well to start out with.
Yes.
First month, 2 months, no problem, squeaky clean. You've got a spreadsheet. Then you go to your first event, a fair of sorts, or there's a bumper day of buybacks at BN. next thing you know, it's an absolute mess.
Yeah.
That is something that does. It's such an opportunity for someone to come up with a user-friendly option to address that issue.
There is one.
Hit
It's
it.
on a website. Rubes is going to remind me what it is because I've forgotten. We actually met the two young guys that actually designed this thing.
It is goldsilverstacker.com.
Goldsilverstacker.com, where
There
you
you
can
go.
put in your it can't value coins or anything like that, but you can have an anonymous account on there. So no one else could track it, even though they assure me that the security behind it, no one could look at anyway. It randomises and anonymizes it. Anonymizes? Is that a word?
Sure.
It makes it anonymous. But yeah, you can go in there and you can actually list all of your stack in there, and it will keep track of it. It'll give you a daily valuation on it and all this sort of stuff. And it's actually a really good service.
I love it. In saying that, and going back to Matt's point, it still relies on the data you're putting into it.
Absolutely.
And so it is absolutely fantastic. I actually, am going to sing its praises. But yeah, you have to keep in mind if you do go to a show and then just forget to add something
doing
in.
a bit of wheeling and dealing, and you swap that coin for that bar, and then there's a little bit of cash there, and then all of a sudden, it gets real confusing real quick. But it's a case by case. It depends on the. And I know for certain there are people that come in here that are really diligent with that sort of thing, and they can tell you their average per ounce price over the past 20 years. But I regret to say I'm not one of those people.
I gave up on it years ago. I just enjoy my stack.
Yeah.
That's what it comes back to. There's a few things, there's quite a few things where I'd be able to say, look, I paid about this and about that for it. But basically these days I've just gone...
Well, if you're holding it for long enough, then most of the things in your stack are going to be...
It all works out in the wash.
That's it. Question from Kylene. Hi guys, do you know if there are many Year of the Dragons in the gold 1/10 coins that are on the Black Friday special? Not sure if we should buy one and hope we get a dragon as our first son born this year. I think for something that special I'd be...
yeah. Look, honestly, I can't actually even tell you what's in there. Yeah, look, if you're after a specific coin, don't. You could, there might be... I think we listed 300 of them at the time. For all I know, there might be 2 in there. So you've got, one chance in 150 of actually getting a dragon. So, yeah, if you're after a specific coin, don't buy it. This is really just around randoms. There were certainly dragons in there when we looked before, but I couldn't tell you how many.
That was before this is now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I wouldn't go down that path.
Do we collect US Morgans down under?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah. They're cool.
Yeah, kind of I do.
Yeah, I like the Morgans and I like the peace dollars.
I love the
Yeah,
peace dollars.
they're cool.
Love the peace dollars.
Yeah, but
So Michael doesn't, but
have you got a stack of Morgans?
Nah. I don't actively collect them, but I enjoy them.
Is more than one a stack? If so, then yes.
So you got 2. All right, so
Yes,
maybe
I
the
got
answer's
2.
no. I just like them.
They
But
just look. I'm not knocking. I
this
actually
sounds
find,
like a knock is coming. Go on.
I find them a fascinating part of history, really. And I have to admit to having one.
Yeah, okay, so not a stack, just one.
Yeah, just the one, but they're just not as readily available over here.
Yeah. So
You know,
that's
it'd be like saying to someone in the States, "Oh, do you stack 1966 50s?" And they'd go, "What?"
true. And hopefully they'd say, no, I don't, but they're cool. So I don't know. That is a good question. Yeah. Maybe that's a poll. Hit it, Rubes. Yeah, it's been ages.
Well, what time is it? Yeah.
What do you mean, what time is this? Poll
We're
time.
well overdue a poll.
All right, incoming
No,
poll.
it's not. No,
Here
come
we go.
on.
What are you doing to us, Rubes?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
quick sticks.
So
Well,
are we
the
doing
energy's
what?
high.
Do you stack Morgans? Is that
Do you stack US silver dollars? There you go.
Do you stack 1833?
From San Francisco Mint.
Oh dear, the things we get up to on this channel, it's ridiculous.
We have another question from Facebook. It says, is there a shortage in 10-ounce silver bars at present? Not much on offer recently. Anything coming in?
But surprisingly, cast bars are really 10-ounce casties are really hard to get hold of at the moment.
Are Perth making them again?
Not yet.
Oh,
The
I
red
see.
hot rumour, and I'm not speaking on behalf of Perth here, so I might be completely barking up the wrong tree, but my understanding is that they are looking at producing the 10-ounce again.
Ooh, I wonder if they'll change up the stamp or the style.
Like they did with the kilos?
Yeah.
They might go kilo-ish. I kind of hope they don't. I think the kilo stamp, maybe I just don't like change.
I was going to say, there
Yeah.
is something to consistency across the range. And like a discernible era as well, to be
Yeah.
able to go, this one was produced, around this time, after they disappeared for a while, this is the return. I think it'd be cool.
I'm wondering if they're going to go back and make the half-ounce gold cast bars.
They
'Cause
did
now-
make them. The absolute... This here, if Perth's watching, and I actually had a go at Neil over this, so this won't be a shock to him. when you produce something like that, don't just produce it for the Perth Mint shop because you drive me
Hang on,
nuts.
was it for the shop recently?
They just produced them for the Perth Mint shop and on their website.
Were we just there? Why don't you load up your pockets?
We're like 400 people coming through the store saying, "Oh, I want to get a Perth Mint half-ounce cast bar," with me going, "I haven't made those for years. What are you smoking?" And sure enough, we went onto their website and it was like, "You mongrels." So I phoned Perth Mint and said, "Look, can we buy a couple of hundred?" "No, they're for the shop only."
Yep.
Well, thanks for nothing.
You're not on the list. Sorry.
So, that one I wasn't real happy about.
That's a shame because that's pretty good because now, with the price of an ounce of gold going up.
They have to start making the half ounce because the closer that the ounce gets to the $5,000 mark, which is seems to be the trigger point for people where they start looking at the next size down. The closer we get to that, the more demand there's going to be for that half ounce size. And if they don't produce it widely, they're going to miss out because we bring in other half ounce bars because we can't get the Perth Mints, and that's only going to get worse and worse.
Great question here that might spark some debate from the Prairie Dog channel. They say, what's the most detailed pure coin?
Huh?
Gold or silver?
What coin is pure?
In silver, the 5 ounce Aztec calendar.
Yeah.
It's got really fine detail.
I think you're going
to
to have potentially a proof answer and a Bullion answer here because some of the proofs, the details are just insane. And then
they produced the Aztec in bullion form.
They do, absolutely.
So,
that
would be my pick of the detail one.
Well, I would actually say I was super impressed with the gold 1 gram pandas. How much detail is in a 1 gram panda. Yeah. And same as the Canadian
the
maple.
I
was just going to say the same.
The small maple, that was unreal. Looking at that under a glass, you couldn't, if you blew that image up to an ounce, you'd say, that's the same coin. It's not, they've just glossed over it and done the outline of a maple. Like the leaves, leaves have like all the little veins running through it and everything. It's really, really impressive.
Yeah, it's great. Like I keep saying that, we all know the Chinese can miniaturize things and they do it really well with the panda, as Alex just said. But I would argue that the Royal Canadian Mint is on the same level. Which is very surprising because us Westerners don't usually do it quite so well. But Canadians have nailed it.
Metal Inquisitor also volunteering some of the Comsco
items. Yeah, absolutely. Sunstone's good one.
Yeah, if you've got any others, feel free to put them in the chat because, I think there's some really cool detail ones out there. It's simple. I don't know if I'd call it the most detailed, but the one that springs to mind for me that I love is just the Germania Mint Golden Eagle. I love the actual detail in that, even though it's a fairly basic pattern in the background. It's done really well. I've seen one for me.
Over the last few months, people coming to the shop and they're stackers, but they haven't really seen that coin.
Yeah.
And then they pick it up and just like, wow, just the wow factor. It just gets them every time. It's great to see. Yeah, it's a beautiful coin.
Pandas are so popular, but why?
Well, I mean, you've got you've got a great coin, but B, you've also got a billion people that, it's their equivalent of the Perth Mint kangaroo. I know, award-winning design. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. that you hate, that you can't stand to look at.
However.
But it's like saying, why is the eagle popular? Well, it's got 330 million people that they're basically a captive audience. Well, the panda's got a billion people that are a captive audience.
And they've got something else as well that beats the Perth Mint's silver kangaroo.
They do, and they change up the design.
That's what I'm talking about. Every year is a different design.
Yeah, unlike pretty much every other government mint coin, I can't think of any other government mint where their main
it up like that.
Coin changes in silver, changes design every year.
You know what I would like to understand? The figures behind, and we could probably, if we were really, really motivated, we could possibly extrapolate it based on mintage figures, how much silver they've saved by dropping it down to 30 grams. Like if you were to stretch that out across entire mintages, that's
actually a good point.
I think that would be interesting, and because it basically the pricing of it, it's not, you're not factoring that in. It's just charged basically as an ounce, and is generally accepted in, I guess, the community as an ounce. People don't,
Near enough's good enough.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even though they're losing 1.1 grams.
It's like in the supermarket. You go in, you get your
whatever
you get. that you normally buy, but now the package
Bag's
looks
smaller.
a bit different. It's smaller, but
Yeah.
the price is the same. You know.
Yeah.
Irish Luck says, Michael, are you getting in any Egyptian relic series in?
No is the short answer.
Is there a longer answer in there though?
Probably not. Is the longer answer.
No, but longer.
No, not gonna happen.
Yeah. I've just had a request from the phone teams as well for you to reiterate, Michael, that the Black Friday 1/10 ounce are not able to be requested specific types. They are just,
absolutely not. Please don't. You're just...
I think
You'll
the phones
upset everyone.
might be getting swamped with that. So
Yeah,
apologies to the phone team on that one.
I think we mentioned that on the video, didn't we?
We did, but you got to remember that with some of these special. I mean, these ones have actually lasted, since we put the video up in the morning. But with some of these ones, people just go, "Cool, Black Friday, cool." Let me just get to the.
They haven't gotten to that part where you mentioned that.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's it.
Have we got any funnel webs left?
There was when I last checked, and the Black Friday page is up and working again now. So big thanks to the IT team in the background there for fixing that one. Looks like there are some funnel webs still online. So that's it. We have a Black Friday page on our website. There is 2 that we dropped in the video this morning. There will be more coming over the weekend. We've got a video a day, as well as some other random things that should just pop up over the weekend. So, stay tuned. See if there was anything there. Hopefully everything is now all working. Thank you to everyone for bearing with us this morning with some of the website shenanigans. But
Yeah. No, that's exactly right.
yeah, indeed.
We're going to slide up if, I don't know, Adam is meant to have sent me a message if he slid up a quiet one. It doesn't look like he has. And if you're listening, mate.
The cat's out of the bag.
I was going to say, not so quiet anymore.
Yeah, if you're listening, mate, we need that super Black Friday special we were talking about.
Look out.
So yeah, it should be good. But yeah, keep checking back all weekend on the website and YouTube. We will be releasing a video a day, but we're also sliding some other things quietly up on that website and just just doing things.
Yeah, cool.
Just mucking around, whatever takes our fancy. We'll go, let's flip some of those up. So that's the super special that I was just talking about.
Desi, what's happening to the Big 5 South African Gold Series?
I don't know. I'm actually hanging out for Berlin next year, so I can go and hopefully they weren't there
'cause they
last
weren't-
year.
Yeah, they weren't there.
But hopefully I want to go and have a yarn to the South African Mint because it's all gone a bit quiet on that Big 5 series.
I've got a similar question. What's happened to the Big 5 South African Platinum?
Wow, okay, let's just broaden it to the entire series.
It's just another Platinum dig for Michael.
The other one, actually, Metal Inquisitor, you're not far off right. It's clearing the Michael's desk sale.
Yeah.
The other one that I want to find out about is remember that hovering UFO coin, Rubes?
Yeah.
I never actually saw that hit the market.
They absolutely went to market. I saw,
Did they?
Yeah.
Ah.
I saw some people getting their hands on those and
Flew over your head,
we
mate.
were gonna
Yeah,
get
must
some.
have. Well, I thought we were going to get some too.
they were very cool. One from AC, which is a bit of a not great one. That's in for us here, but it's something we need to cover. They say, love your videos, but you guys have become a victim of your own success. Past orders were delivered mostly in a timely manner, but my last order took 24 days to be delivered, and many emails went unanswered.
Yeah, okay. Look, I need to attack this one publicly. And I kind of already have a little bit. Where I came out, was that a week ago, Rubes, where we did the video where I basically fell on my sword and said, absolutely, the service has fallen over.
Yeah.
We're employing new people, all that sort of stuff. It's partly we're a victim of our own success, absolutely. Partly it's almost a perfect storm scenario where the world's got busier for bullion dealers. We're all under the pump. Supplies have dried up, and it's not that we can't get them. It's we're struggling to get specific things. There's a few things out of Perth at the moment that we're struggling to get, things like that. So there's limited supply on that. And you'll have seen on our website a number of things that normally we keep in stock have come up for pre-order and things like that, which we don't like doing, but we're still trying to provide that service there. We're also in the process of, and we've been fairly open about this, we're in the process of moving our dispatch centre to Pakenham. Now, we've actually moved it. We physically picked it up and moved it there. But we're still, all the procedures and processes are changing. We've had a few change of staff that didn't want to come across to Pakenham with us because it increased their travel times. those types of things are all kicking in. So there's been a number of things that have worked against us that have slowed the whole process down. Our communications have been terrible. I was joking. I mentioned it before, but I actually was quite serious. Last night I sat down for a little while just to tidy up a couple of emails and catch up a little bit. And 100 emails later, I got the unanswered emails on our sales channel down to below 90. So it's we're still slipping behind on those sorts of things. So it's going to be. It's not good. I'm not happy. No one's happy about it. There's certainly more stress in the office than there should be. And it's not good. It's absolutely not good, and it's not acceptable. The only thing I can say, other than apologise for it, is the fact that we are changing things. We are introducing new things. We have moved everything to Pakenham, so we're closer to dispatching centres. We're closer to the freight centre. Things are starting to move, starting to improve. We're clearing the backlog quite a bit. Things are hopefully coming out a lot quicker. Alex, the pick's down quite a bit.
Yeah, the one of the issues with the picks is when you order a pre-order item and you've ordered other items within that same order, that holds things back quite a bit because we can't pick it until as a great example is so many people ordered the Trumps, and that's a while away. So everything's been paid for. It's been ordered, locked in. We've got 12 out of your 13 coins, but we can't actually process and ship that off because we're still waiting for. And I'm not saying that's in everyone's case, but this is a lot that's happening. The other thing is as Michael said before in other videos, we are hiring more and more people, but as we're getting just flooded with emails, phones, and everything, it's harder to train someone when you just flat out. And we still do we do our best at the back, but it's just really difficult. But yeah, the big issue is for me if you're ordering a pre-order item, my suggestion is just order the pre-order.
Two separate orders.
Two separate orders. You get free storage for 3 months anyway, and that will, in most cases, speed up a lot of the shipping. Yeah.
And look, Alex touched on an important thing there. We are bringing on new staff. We started a new one this week. Started a new one last week, I believe. When you're this big, you can either do one of two things. You can either deal with busyness, or you can train the staff, but you can't do both at the same time. So it's in some ways having new staff on is slowing us down a little bit. But look, we're really, really, really hoping. No, it's not hoping. Next year, we're seeing the improvements now. Next year, we should be back. In fact, we should be better because we've moved like I said, we've moved the operation and streamlined it. So early in the new year, you should see us getting things out quite quickly. And then I'm hoping very soon in the new year, probably a couple of months down the track, but very soon in the new year, we will be able to, if you place your order and we receive payment by 11 o'clock, we can ship same day. That's what we're aiming for, and that's what we're pushing for. So hang on for the ride. I really appreciate people giving us a little bit of breathing space. No, it's not acceptable, and we're not saying that it's acceptable in any form, but stay with us, stick with us in the new year. Hopefully I'm going to stop saying hopefully. Things will be better in the new year. Absolutely, they will.
The person that asked that question is sending through a thanks for explaining and is understanding and appreciative of it. We'll wait to place my next order so you can clear some of the backlog. Cheers.
Look, it's your call. You can do that if you like, or you can, we will get to it. And we were going through the picks this morning, and there's only, I think we're down to about 300 or 400 line items on the pick that aren't involved with pre-orders, which 300 or 400 orders sounds like a lot, but actually I think the shipping is, I think the ship orders are pretty much up to date, and some of the storage orders are only like a day or two behind, so we're almost back to where we were, almost. Somebody snuck in and saw the Super Black Friday special. We very quietly slid some Aquaman and some Superman, the superhero ones, onto the Black Friday special. So they're up there now at a depressingly good price.
Depends who you are.
Yeah, that's right.
Couple of really good questions there about the Trumps and the ETA on those. There was talk of them being early December.
Yeah, they've pushed them back, unfortunately. I think if I didn't mention, I meant to mention it in the last live stream. I did, yeah.
To
pushed
sure
it down to
aware.
mid to late December, so I'm actually expecting them in the new year. So as soon as they arrive, we will get them straight out. They are at the top of our priority list because they are causing chaos in the back end. As soon as they get out, so if you've got them ordered for Christmas, we're trying our best to get them to you, but unfortunately with these types of things, we're tied to the manufacturer, and we'll get them out as quick as we get them.
Brown Dog Prospecting. Question, I want to buy today. Ring now. Yes.
Yes.
1300 84 84 10.
Yep, absolutely. Talk to the lovely Sylvia or the incredible Andrew, and they will expedite. Tell them you spoke to Michael and he said you'd look after you. So,
He said yes
So
to
many
whatever you
people
want.
say that. Never known a guy with more friends.
yeah, quite often after a live stream, there'll be a queue of BN staff out my office going, "Did you really say this on live stream? Did you really say that on live stream?"
I can verify that. Yeah.
They try and listen to it in the background so they can see what they're in for. But
Are
there's
you
times
kidding
where
me?
things just get too busy. Yes, Ray, the Trumps are from GSM. Leo, if we choose 3 months storage, will we soon have to select a location?
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll make some things easier. Obviously, there's things to sort out for that in the background, but once it's actually up and running, to just be able to go, yep, picking this up in Pakenham or picking this up in the city, I think that'll be really, really good.
Or in an interstate store.
Or Texas.
I haven't seen one so far this week. So.
Someone was saying that there was a rumor of us opening up in New Zealand, and I was kind of responding about basically there's rumors of us opening up everywhere. It's actually where it happens, as we will wait and see.
Did somebody say Colac?
That one's stuck with you, hasn't it? Someone has sent through to us their Christmas tree decorated with a little bit of
I saw this one.
bullion. On
I love it.
If you look in there
Very
closely,
festive.
you'll see right below the sign the Bullion Now round that we got through, as well as the bar, and then a little bit lower down
Very
there,
cool.
the Bullion Now bag. So very cool. Much appreciated sending that in. Nice to feature as a part of your Christmas setup.
It's the in thing to have on your tree this year.
I have heard that.
evidently.
Yeah. Anyone who's anyone.
I don't know which side of the round I like better, the obverse or reverse. They're both super
the
cool.
rim.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
What else have we got, Rubes?
So, question before about platinum coins, and if you thought that they were a good idea to pick up. I guess in comparison to bars.
Yeah, the short answer is yes. The longer answer is be very careful that you're not paying excessive premium. Premium on platinums is expensive on the best days. When you start putting it in coin form, it gets even more. So with platinum, you've really got to watch your premiums. Don't, unless it's a special thing. Craven Fox was talking about, he's got a 2006 1/10 Platinum Eagle graded MS70. Look, I'd pay a little bit more for that because it's a very low mintage coin. There'd be very few of them that would be MS70. That type of thing I'd pay a bit more for, but just be really careful. The Perth Mint Kangaroo is one of my favourite forms of getting platinum in because it's one of the cheapest, even when it's compared to bars. So those types. Oh, my computer's about to crash out. So it's those types of things. Just get the coins, but be really, really careful that you don't pay excessive premium on them. And as Laurie Williams just said, this is not financial advice.
There was a question from Stephen a little earlier. Why do you have silver donuts in 1 ounce, but your gold donuts are 37.5?
Because the donut is actually called a tail, and it's a specific measure, particularly in the Asian market, of 37.5 grams. You have a tail, which is the donut, or you have a long or a lung, which is the bar form. And it is a specific weight. So we obey that in the gold. However, in the silver, the donut looks stupid if you make it in a 37.5 because you lose the hole in the middle. So it kind of looks like this deformed blob. So it was decided that it would be made in 1 ounce, so a little less metal, so it actually looked like a donut. And that's why we don't call it a tail or a lung, because it's an incorrect weight.
It also helps with stacking because most stackers collect 1 ounce, so it keeps with that. range. Because you've seen what happens with 30-gram pandas, you know, it just throws everything out. So
Yeah, I actually think we pitched that to the live stream audience to see what we were going to call those, and then there was concerns with the donut if we had to specify on there that it was a non-consumable item and things like that.
As long as you... No, I'm not going to go there. What else we got, Rubes?
I didn't actually have much planned on the news side this side. Have you guys come across anything in the news this week that was kind of specific to Bullion?
There's been a few things that I can't remember. There was one I was reading this morning. Thinking,
Big headline stuff.
E-money there. Does Australia have a similar rule where you can't put a living person on currency?
Oh, someone else was talking about how that's it. You couldn't put any of the
living
presidents.
president,
Yeah. So I'm going to ask this question of the guys here. Can we put living people on our currency?
yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can't.
It has happened.
Yeah, it has happened.
I've got data.
It has
you're
happened.
supposed to, supposedly.
Yeah, you're not meant to put them on there. Then they produce a Wiggles coin.
Yeah,
I think
that
the
was the
Wiggles
first thing that came to mind.
Yeah.
30 cents, no less.
Yeah. So I don't know how they do
The
that
argument,
one.
I think, is that they're the characters.
Yeah,
and so,
it's not a person.
Yeah,
I think they're
it's a fine line.
Yeah, I think they're
Yeah.
pushing it uphill a little bit on that one. But it's
It's fraught with danger.
yeah.
Risky business. Not something I'd be doing.
Would you like to see changes made to some of that legislation?
I guess it doesn't matter if there's change. Well, effectively, it doesn't matter because they're doing it. Like,
Yeah, but
as
it's
in,
still, as far as I know, it's still quite a difficult. Like, I think the Wiggles are an exception, and I'm not sure if there will be that many more.
Yeah, I think it's a good rule.
I think we might have talked about this
particularly-
before, but
yeah.
even broader than the having alive people on there, but just
Yeah.
the limitations on Australian fauna and flora and things like that. There's certain themes that we like
Yeah.
to keep on our currency,
Yep.
and a lot of the others get put onto some of the island nations and things like that.
Yeah.
Would you like to see some of those ever on Australian currency, or do you like the separation?
No, I'm going to take a page out of Michael's book and say I don't think I'd like the change. I don't think I'd like, and I think that's just because I'm sort of stuck in tradition is a loose term in this instance, but yeah, I don't think I'd be pumped to see a Batman official Australian legal tender coin. I'd always say, because you also know just by looking at it, okay, that's going to be Tuvalu, Cook Islands, Niue, something like that, and yeah, the Australian designs are. There's a certain theme and a certain expectation from Australian legal tender coins. So yeah,
I think at the end of the day there is an integrity to it.
I think this
is an Australian coin. It should reflect Australia.
Yeah.
It's our national currency. At the end of I'm not trying to minimise what Perth Mint does here. Even the Perth Mint coins that they produce are still Australian currency. So I think there's a level of integrity that I like to see maintained about that. And maybe I'm just a stick in the mud or a prude or whatever you want to pitch at me there. But I'd be disappointed to see that disappear.
Yeah.
I would agree. And that's one of the reasons I stopped watching Eurovision. Because they all started singing in English. So what's the point?
Really?
It's all right for you, Mr. Multilingual.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only guy that could keep up with the whole thing.
Mind you, I think you're the only guy that watches Eurovision. But anyway,
Used to. I stopped watching like 5 years ago. It's just
I just can't believe you admitted to that.
when Poland lost one of the Eurovisions that I thought they should have won. That was it for me. I was out.
I'll
talk to Desi later. I'll talk to you later, Desi. But
Our live stream has just hit a new low.
Yeah.
We've now started discussing
Yeah.
Eurovision.
Yeah. I thought Bridgerton was bad.
I was going to say, is that in the clear from his TV shows from the other week?
I'm
that you
feeling
dumped him in?
pretty comfortable over here now.
Oh dear.
Craig is wanting to know what we've got lined up before the end of the year. Well, they just say the coming months, but let's start with before the end of the year. What have we got lined
Survival.
up?
Yeah. hanging on. Holding on to your hats.
it's like you're saying, what news have we caught up with this? I haven't even caught up with sleep this week. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some horrendous products, wasn't there?
Oh.
I don't know if we've released them yet.
No, we haven't. We're talking about.
Oh, we're talking about what's
We're
coming.
talking about what's coming. This is this is
there's
this
some
is me trying to
Horizon
give an
stuff.
actual answer to the question instead of just.
Wow, we're actually going to
survival.
answer a question. There you go. Yeah, there's some Horizon stuff, there's some other stuff, and there's some fancy stuff.
Cool. Very, very promising stuff.
Is that in at the moment? Has that arrived?
Tune in for the upcoming week then.
I don't believe there's any more releases from Perth Mint on a Bullion level.
Yeah, just you wait. Yeah, there'll be something.
Yeah.
There's always something
Sorry,
lately.
just to touch on Desi, what he said. I had no idea that Poland did that well. I stopped watching when a woman with a beard won. That's the one I'm talking about. Have a look at Polish entry. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, you guys need to have a separate conversation. It's got, yeah.
You're starting to stress me.
You're out of control.
Look, it's Friday. It's the end of the long week.
Scared, yeah.
I've still
I
got
can
2
tell.
hours to go. So.
Hamza, I do believe that the one, in fact, I know that the 1 ounce Perth minted bar is back in stock. And if you've pre-ordered, it should be filled. If it wasn't filled today, I'd suggest it'll be filled Monday.
Cool.
So they are back in.
Maz, what happens if the free 3-month storage is due around Christmas when we're shut?
Well, unofficially, we'll slide it into January. So don't stress.
Just in the notes, just say Michael said.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you got to
geez.
dictate that sound effect out onto.
Con's gonna kill me.
Any hints for the deals this weekend and Monday?
They're good prices for everyone but me. There is a North American Day.
Wow.
I'm trying to think what else I can hint at.
Probably not. Let's move on to a question from Kylene. Are you guys getting any of the Odin Norse God
Yes.
1 ounce silver bars by Germania and
Cool.
Royal Mint?
Yes, but I believe they've held them off.
Oh, what
So
gives?
we placed the order, and I'm 99% sure that was it. Oh, my computer's just crashed. I was going to say I'll have a look, but my computer's crashed.
Convenient.
Looks like that. There's not much typing I can
Push
do on
the
it.
power button.
Yeah, classic.
Oh no, he shut it.
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
We received an email last night or the night before that said, we've had a bit of an issue, and they will be delayed coming in. So they will be delayed coming in.
Oh, cool.
But they are definitely, I've certainly paid for them. So
It's a good start. Hopefully that means that we're actually, they're fixing or doing something with it that needed to be done.
well, there was the white spot issue where
We
we received
them a
the-
wash. I was just leaving it unsaid. Keith is wanting us to talk cut-off dates and things for Christmas, and someone else was asking before about when we were actually going to be shut as a business.
Okay, so the the last shipping date, I don't have a computer, but it's around the 15th of December is our last shipping date. So if you've got anything that needs to be shipped out, you need to have it paid for and ordered and paid for before the 15th, and then we can get it out in time. And the reason we draw it off fairly early is because we do not want things sitting in, courier depots and that sort of stuff over the Christmas break. We need them to have them to you well and truly before that Christmas shutdown that happens all around, a lot of the world, never mind just Australia. As far as the shop and the phones and the emails go, we finish up officially on the 23rd of December. The vote was taken that we would have Christmas Eve off. So the shop will be closed on that day. A few of us are still working, but the shop is closed on that day. And officially we come back to work on the 13th of January. But again, there'll be a few of us that are going to be doing some cleaning up and some tidying up and processing of orders. But don't expect an answer to emails or phone calls or anything like that. If I manage to get on and clear some, great. But otherwise, it will be officially the 13th of January will be when the lights go back on and everyone starts working again.
Is there ever much of an impact in spot price over that period because of places shutting down, or does the market still keep running full swing, or
No,
does
the market does keep running. One of the issues I have over the Christmas New Year's break is the fact that the spot price can get incredibly volatile because the effectively it's the Northern Hemisphere. The Northern Hemisphere traders go on Christmas holiday over that break for the Christmas New Year, like a lot of the Western world does. So the volumes that are turned over drop right down. So it means that even unintentionally, the price can be manipulated upwards or downwards very, very easily with a relatively small-sized order. I'm not talking a couple of ounces here. I'm talking, some of the bigger orders that go through normally that would not make even the faintest blip onto the spot price can actually have quite a large impact, either upwards or downwards, on the spot price. During particularly that last week of December, first week of January, while a lot of that European and Asian volume comes out of the market. You've also got the Lunar New Year in there that plays around. So that last week of December through January, while we're dealing with both the Western Christmas period, the Christmas New Year period, but also that Lunar New Year period where there's a lot of public holidays, a lot of people away. It can be very, very volatile. So be very careful during that time. And as a bullion dealer, it certainly has an impact on us. We have to be very careful with our hedging over that time.
For sure. A couple of questions there about the 5-ounce snakes. Someone was asking if they've even been released yet, and someone else was asking if they had arrived or ETA on them arriving.
They haven't arrived, and I can't tell you how frustrated I am about these things. Where Perth will release the coin, they even have them available in their own shop, but they just don't seem to get them out to the rest of us. So it's a problem. They haven't arrived yet, and I don't even. I may have just received a tracking number for them. There were some tracking numbers came through just before I jumped onto live stream that I didn't look at, so we may have gotten the tracking number for them. But as far as I'm aware, we officially don't even have the tracking number for them yet, which is very frustrating.
Laurie, we will sometimes go into the politics, with its, relation to gold and silver, but otherwise we try and steer clear of it if we can, so probably won't touch that one. But David's question there, any Charlie and the Chocolate Factory bars this year?
No.
That was just a one-off, wasn't it?
I didn't realise it would.
There's been a couple of iterations of it from different mints.
And lots of requests for more. I think people
I think there's actually two up on the website that are old stock.
No.
No.
Look out.
Willy Wonkas, yeah.
They're going to go.
No, they're the PAMP ones.
They're the PAMPs, yeah. 5
Not
grams.
the New Zealand mint ones, the 5 grams.
I think both were popular.
Yeah.
Question there for you, Matt. Will late cooks mean very limited mintages?
Well, it depends on how many they make. Good question. Legit depends on how many they make. Like if it's a
yes, but because they produce them so late, will it limit the number they produce?
I wouldn't say necessarily. I think it's conceivable. That would be an explanation if it turns out that there is a low mintage. But they might say, well, it's a late mintage, but we've pushed up another thing to next year, so we've freed up the space and we're going to do a truckload. So I wouldn't read too much into it. I don't know. Do you have a hot take on that, Michael?
No, I actually agree. I don't think it will. I don't think it'll be a limited mintage.
Yeah, and if
a smaller mintage than normal.
For reference, people that try and read the tea leaves on Royal Australian mintages, if I had $1 for every time someone had been burned by that, I'd be set. I'd be cruising around in a Lambo.
What do we do with stock on our website over that Christmas break?
I try and keep the website limited stocked. So the normal stuff I try and keep up there. But I try not to. I actually like to spend a bit of time with the family over Christmas, so I try not to load it up. So I have to start stressing about spot price movements and hedging and all that sort of stuff that I normally have to stress about. So we normally keep we normally keep a good variety up there. It's just usually limited numbers.
Oh yeah, I feel a poll coming in.
Someone asked if we liked coloured coins, and I thought I would open that question up to the wider community as well as ask it to you
Where's
fellas.
the sometimes?
Sometimes,
Depending on the coin.
and the premium.
Yeah, there are a couple
Have a
of
look at the
factors.
Christmas bars that we just released.
Yeah.
I think they're great.
Some of them are brilliant.
Yep.
Some of them are flat out lousy, but some of them are absolutely brilliant.
I think that's the thing. Adding color to a coin doesn't make it good, but it can really accentuate some of the details and features of, particularly some of the ones that get released in Bullion first, and then seeing it in color. I absolutely love.
I love some. The Christmas coin is not a good example of this because they did the whole thing coloured, but I love it when they do partial colouring and they just draw out aspects of a design.
Yep.
Some of them are amazing, and even the gilded. So I know that's not coloured, but some of the gilding that Perth Mint's been playing around with, they're just like it just makes that design pop. Now, am I going to use a coloured coin as a stack? No, because you're usually paying more for it. But as a collector, or that wow factor or that talking point or all those types of things. Absolutely, some of those coloured coins, particularly the modern coloured ones, some of the old ones looked a bit dodge.
You can tell there was room for improvement, right?
Yeah. The technology has improved so much that the detail that they can get into a coloured coin.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, and sometimes it is a case of that smaller amount, the better it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I picked up one, and it was a 1 ounce. I think it was by Perth Mint, and it was an Australia-China friendship, like over the years. And it had a kangaroo and a panda.
I remember
and
that
the only
one.
coloured item on it was the Australian flag, small above the kangaroo, and the Chinese flag above the panda. And it just really stood out in a really good way. But it didn't basically.
Yeah.
He still had the beautiful silver coming through, but it had a little bit of detail on it, which I really, it looked really good, I thought.
Yeah, I think you're right. Some of the very selective colours.
Yeah.
When is our next lot of kilo bars coming through to the web? I'm guessing the Perth Mint ones.
Oh, we've got them in stock, so I would have thought they'd be already there. I know where...
They weren't there last time I saw them, so we might have to check up on that.
I
I think there's a few, though, that have kind of been getting bought in big numbers. I know a little while ago the 2024 kangaroos disappeared up there while we still had some of those. So
The problem is that, and this is why we all hate, one of the reasons we all hate pre-orders, is that you get a big delivery in, and by the time you've filled all the pre-orders, you've not got much left to release to the web or into the store. So it may be, because I know we took several hundred kilos in the other day, but it wouldn't shock me, because Ruben's right, we've seen some big orders go through. It wouldn't shock me that they haven't just marched straight out the door on pre-order. So... yeah, I don't like it. I hate it when this happens. But it's we're certainly going to fill pre-orders before we release more onto the web. So,
Matt, do you think there will be different coloured Perth Mint lunar snakes next year, like there were different coloured dragons this year? They're going to go quite as crazy with the snake as they did the dragon, or?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe not as crazy. Well, it depends, because with there were so many different colours for the Money Expos. There was also a different colour for the World Money Fair. Then there was also a Hong Kong show as well.
Yeah, but I mean, there's specific ones for shows.
Yeah.
But they did other ones that were just like, they weren't quite general release, but almost for general release. You know, they did the 12 colour. 12 colour?
Yeah, I was going to say, I
colour?
think 10 or 12, something like that.
So I don't think, I haven't seen anything in the legislation to say that they're going to do that this time with the snake.
Well, I wouldn't be shocked. Maybe not to the same scale. We'll see a few different...
Nice one.
Yeah, genius, huh?
Thank you.
I think...
Give me a second.
We'll see a few different colours, I'm sure, but probably not to the same extent as the dragon, because the dragon just always goes off. So, yeah. We're doing 1,000 questions in 5 seconds.
We're after 4 now, so we're coming.
I've got to go and pick my car up, so
there you go.
Got to be out of here on time, fellas.
Quick sticks. All right, well,
I
thanks.
get my morning
See ya.
coffee. I'm still running behind.
I'm going to do some rapid fire questions. So if there was a question you asked earlier that we missed, or something you've been hanging on to, feel free to ask it now. We will try to hit as many as we can, as rapid fire as we can. Obviously, maybe not with a full explanation, but we'll see how long it takes us.
You probably get a full explanation.
We always end up. Peter graced me guide. I totally agree. The gilded 2-ounce kookaburra.
Yeah, that's so good. With the gilded rim, forget about it. That's a slam dunk. That's so good.
Absolutely.
I can't picture that one.
Yeah.
Imagine a beautiful coin. There you go.
What is the most common fake we see come through?
Oh, it goes in phases.
Oh, yeah, sort of batches.
Yeah.
I think minted bars as a whole.
Minted gold
yeah,
bars.
yeah.
Minted
Minted
gold
gold
bars.
bars. Yeah,
Yeah.
Across all sorts of different brands. It's not to dob anyone in,
Yeah.
but minted bars because you've got the packaging to hide some of the inconsistencies.
Yeah, that's like the red herring. It's
Yeah.
in a package, so it must be legit.
Any plans for a customer loyalty program?
Do a live stream every Friday. Ask any questions you want.
Yeah, possibly. Don't know. Bending my brain around that one.
Unallocated silver also limited to 50 kilos per person sellback when they are since they are not sold back at spot.
No.
There you go. How many orders can we put through over this weekend?
Many as you want.
Are we getting some platinum specials this weekend?
No, I haven't found any.
Yeah, because he bought it all. That's why he's telling everyone, go easy on platinum.
Problem. I'm going to extend this question. The problem is that we've got to have enough, or we just really annoy people. I was going to use a different word there, but we really, really annoy people. So the problem is in the old days, like 4 or 5 years ago when we used to do this, I could do a platinum release and put up 50 coins, and most people had a bite at it. Nowadays, if I released 50 coins, we'd sell the first 50, we'd sell the 50 coins out in the first 2 minutes,
and then get 100 complaints.
Yeah, the phones and emails would be backed up with everyone going off at me. So it's kind of like, I've got 50 of these, but we're not going to do that.
Christian says, hi from Holland.
Hey!
Vern says, I hear people say that coin collecting is a winter hobby. Do you see an increase in sales during the winter?
That's more a European thing, or Northern Hemisphere thing, I should say, where the weather's a bit extreme. And that goes across the hobbies. I know I'm frustrating Ruben here because I'm taking too long. But I am quite into, when I've got time, into tropical fish. And I know that, that's huge. And train collections, like the train, your model trains, they are huge during winter in the Northern Hemisphere. Whereas because we don't have extreme winters here in Australia, it doesn't seem to impact us quite so much.
Tropical fish in the rapid fire questions. Tudor Beast 2-ounce and 10-ounce Queen's Panther coming soon.
Yes.
Is ID required to sell bullion under 5K?
For us it is. That's a company thing. Any buybacks we require ID.
Well, I was going to say, depending on which side they're saying sell there. Coin series boxes from Aussie Drop Bear. I'm not 100% sure what they're talking about. I guess.
I think like the Kookaburra series or like the Kruger.
Display boxes.
Display cases.
Yeah. Secondary market has them. Perth Meat does them for the Lunars.
Yeah.
Will Pakenham still have them?
Possibly, yeah.
Playing question there, I'm guessing, Michael. Cessna versus Technum.
Technum. No, it's probably Cessna.
When is the last live stream? The last one would be on the 20th of December. The following one would be in the break on the 27th. 747 or 787?
That's chalk and cheese.
The plane.
Yeah, Cessna.
There you go.
A330.
What countries other than Australia are most frequent that we sell to?
Goes in phases, possibly.
See New Zealand come up a lot.
Yeah, the US comes up a lot. The UK comes up quite a bit.
Yeah, Singapore.
Singapore, I was just going to say the same. Yeah, they're probably the main ones.
Shrimp or lobster?
Neither.
Yeah,
I'm not a seafood fan. Sorry.
Sierra
Hamburgers.
Charlie likening you to the Three Wise Men there. Which
I got to laugh at Christmas. My family doesn't do seafood, so my brother-in-law brings you this big, humongous thing of shrimp, and there's only him and my niece's husband that eat them, and they must eat 4 kilos each over Christmas Day.
We're not going off track at all. But on that note, thank you for your 2 kind words, Sarah Charlie. So
sorry for the fish comment, Stephen. Knackers O'Reilly, what's the red band next to my comment mean? I can't see that. I'm not sure if anyone else can, so I don't know what to tell you because I can't see it. I think it might just be
it's not showing on mine.
Yeah, I can't actually see it, so sorry, mate.
To LAX, no thanks.
Manchester United or Chelsea? We're talking soccer or football now, depending on what part of the world you're from.
Football.
I think we've exhausted all general queries now.
Well, you got to answer that.
Tottenham Hotspurs.
There you go.
Come on.
Hey, whiz.
Alrighty, I think that is the end of the rapid fire questions for this week.
Yep.
What about? And I'm pitching this to Michael live on stream here, so this could go really badly.
He doesn't have a computer. You probably won't be able to answer.
What about, because we're always chasing that elusive 300 views, Do we do a special next week if we get 300 viewers?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Oh, we know how to get 300 views. We just don't have Matt on the screen.
Yeah, so we need to
seen
start
it
trying out some new material.
Right, so
I've seen
yeah.
it happen.
Let's
all the
do
people that
that
normally watch the show afterwards, if you want to get... I'm not sure what
Get-
the special's going to
get-
be yet.
get a
We'll
friend
figure that out
involved.
sometime next week.
Don't worry,
If
we'll
we
figure
hit
it out.
300, we'll do 300 buybacks at spot.
Boom. Cool.
There you go. 1 ounce silvers.
1 ounce silvers
There you go.
at spot. In fact, the number of people
I
on
might get in trouble for this after.
the number of people on the live stream live
We could crack 1,000 here.
will release that number of
Not happening, Stephen.
coins to the web at spot. Number of that number of buybacks
yeah.
to the web
Are you
at
limiting
spot.
it to 1 per person? Or?
No, I don't think so.
All right, cool. There you go. I might get in trouble for this after we shut off the cameras, but thank you very much for watching, everyone. Sorry, Alex, you were going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to showcase them all?
Yeah, I don't know what we'll do.
For 300 comments on camera?
That'd be good. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Stay tuned over the weekend. We have some more specials coming. There'll be once a day there'll be a video dropping, but also keep an eye on the Black Friday page on our website. Hopefully it'll all go smooth over the weekend. And we will see you for some videos next week, but also a stream next week on Friday as well.
Sounds good.
See you then.
See ya.
See ya.